I think the whole thing was brought into the public domain by two things in particular. We had a press release issued by a magazine in America saying that Hugh Grant had just become a father. And then we then have a situation where the agent confirms the story a few hours later. Okay, and this agent issues a 4-line statement confirming it and puts in a curious phrase saying, the baby's been born following a fleeting affair. Okay, now the agent could, in that statement, have carried on and said, look, Hugh Grant and the woman in question will not be giving any interviews. They do not want to pose up, and we would ask people to respect their privacy at this time and not to converge on their respective houses. But there was nothing of that in there. There was no inclination in that statement that there was a privacy matter or there was a problem ahead.
It depends where you start from, though, Mr. Silva. That is not the starting point. That this is a private situation. And so unless the agent or the celebrity says expressly, either I'm happy to give an interview or I'm happy to give a photograph, the presumption must be that they're not happy to allow themselves to be photographed. Isn't that the true analysis?
No. As I said, our response is consistent with how we've reacted when other celebrities and high-profile people have become parents for the first time or become parents. Well, the story breaks, we then go to their home or we go to the hospital. We ask them if they'll pose up. If they say no, you leave and you move away.
But isn't your response engendered more by a wrong analysis of the situation here? The correct analysis, it might be said, and I'm putting it to you solely on that basis, is that we have a situation of privacy. This is a family matter. Whether or not a photograph is given up is entirely the decision of Mr. Grant and the mother of the child. But unless they say yes, the presumption must be no.
Well, it became clear.
The correct analysis?
No, it became clear within a day or so that we weren't going to get a photograph, so then we've just pulled off.
Yeah, but didn't you know from your, if I can put it crudely in these terms, your previous dealings with Mr. Grant, that he was bound to say no anyway?
No.
Is that really your answer, Mr. Silva?
That is my answer, yes.
In this sort of situation, I know he hasn't been a father before, but it'd be obvious to a man like him, who's quite entitled to say, this is a matter which concerns my privacy, it's none of your business, it's a position he's consistently held, that had you asked him, you were going to get that resounding answer. Didn't you know that?
No, obviously not. We went to his house in the belief and in the hope that if we could speak to someone and say, look, could you pose up? Is there a chance? That was the situation, and that's how we approached it.
And the other point is that why send a photographer to his, or rather the woman's home? Why not, through the ordinary channels, find out whether they are prepared to give you this posed-up photograph, and if the answer is yes, then by all means take it. But why go to the lengths of sending a photographer to her home, which by its nature amounts to some degree of harassment?
Well, no, as I said to you, again, we went there in the hope that if she came out, we could ask her, so do you mind if we take a picture? And she said yes, we would have taken the picture.
It's not an answer to my question, though, because you send a photographer out in the hope, which I understand. But my question was, why not wait to get the green light from Mr. Grant and or the mother of the child before even sending someone out there?
Oh, I don't know. I can't explain that. I've given you my answer. That's the reason. That's the way I approached it.